Backgrounds and traits in Starfield determine a lot of what your character is going to be like and how you're going to experience the game right off the bat. So I'm going to go over everything around the backgrounds and all the traits that you can select before diving into Starfield. So let's get into it. Now, something you need to keep in mind right off the bat, whatever background you pick, you get 3 skills automatically in your skill tree. I'll go over all the skills in another video. But for the Beast Hunter, you get Fitness, Ballistics, and Gastronomy. Fitness has you use less oxygen when you do things, Ballistics increases damage on certain weapons, and Gastronomy allows you to create special meals. The Bouncer background has Boxing, Security, and Fitness. Boxing helps with unarmed attack and less O2 usage, and Security helps you go through different security systems in the game much easier. Very helpful. Security also gives you a Digipick or a Lockpick right from the start of the game. Now, the Bounty Hunter has Piloting, Targeting Systems, and Boost Pack Trading. Piloting allows you to move your ship a lot easier. Targeting allows you to target certain aspects of enemy ships, such as focusing on their engine. And Boost Pack Trading allows you to immediately have a boost pack and be able to fly around with it. Now, the Chef has Gastronomy, Dueling, and Scavenging. Dueling essentially lets you have better proficiency with knife weapons such as swords and obviously knives. Scavenging lets you find more credits and materials inside of boxes that you loot through. And of course, Gastronomy, because you're a chef. And the Combat Medic has Pistol Certification, Medicine, and Wellness. Pistol Certification allows your pistols to do more damage, Medicine improves the healing capabilities of healing items, and Wellness basically just increases your health bar. Now, the Cyber Runner has Stealth, Security, and Theft. Stealth essentially just lets you sneak around in a crouch position a lot easier, not be detectable when you're doing so, and Theft automatically allows you to pickpocket people. We've covered Security, but it definitely fits with this background, a Stealth player's background. Now, for the Cyberneticist, we already know 2 of these already, Medicine and Security, but Lasers is brand new. Lasers actually allows your laser weapons that you come across a lot in the game to be more proficient and do more damage right off the bat. It's a well-rounded background in my opinion. For the Diplomat, we have 2 new skills, Persuasion and Commerce. Persuasion allows you to talk through different situations when you're interacting with NPCs, and Commerce allows you to sell items for a higher amount, and you can buy back items for a smaller amount as well. Very helpful. The Explorer has Lasers, Astrodynamics, and Surveying. Astrodynamics allows you to use your grav jump a lot more proficiently and jump farther in space. Surveying allows you to have a larger range for your scanner when you're surveying planets, which certainly helps against enemies. Now, the Gangster background only has 1 new skill in it, and that's the Shotgun Certification. This allows you to be very proficient with your shotguns and have your shotguns do more damage when you use them. Obviously, when you rank up, they'll do more damage. The Homesteader has Geology and Weightlifting as 2 new skills. Geology allows you to have more minerals and materials when you mine minerals and materials from planets, and Weightlifting simply allows you to carry more stuff and have a larger carrier weight. The Industrialist has Persuasion, Security, and a new one, Research Methods. Research Methods allows you to unlock more research that can be used for a variety of things of crafting. I'll go over how Research Methods is very helpful in another video, but it improves crafting. The Long Hauler background has Weightlifting, Piloting, and a new one, Ballistic Weapon Systems. Ballistic Weapon Systems essentially allows your ballistic weapons, your machine guns on your spaceship, to be that much more deadly. Now, the Pilgrim background doesn't have anything new that I haven't covered already, but think of this class as someone who likes to collect things and really explore planets more than anything else and see what kind of random stuff they can create, especially when it comes to cooking. Now, the Professor, just like the Pilgrim, has nothing new, but it does allow us to see how different each of these backgrounds are when mixing and matching very similar skills that are great to just start out the game with, much like the Professor's skills as you see here. The Ronin background was one I actually almost picked. They have Dueling, Stealth, and Scavenging, all 3 of which we have covered before, but it also ties into the actual name of the background a lot, especially with Dueling and Stealth. I like how they're matching skills with backgrounds that just make sense. The Sculptor background has Medicine, Geology, and Persuasion. Now, we have covered all of these, but having Geology and Persuasion in the same background is very helpful. That way you can get a lot of materials for crafting and talk your way out of sticky situations across the galaxy. Now, the Soldier has Fitness, Ballistics, and Boost Pack Trading. We've covered all of them, but this is definitely going to be your more run and gun type of background. So if that's how you would like to play the Bethesda games, this background is definitely going to be the one you're going to want to pick. And moving on to the Space Scoundrel, they have Pistol Certification, Piloting, and Persuasion. A nice mix of very different aspects and different skills of how you can play the game, and I think it's a good combination. Another very well-rounded background. Close to the end of the backgrounds, you have the xenobiologist using lasers, surveying, and fitness, essentially allowing you to protect yourself while exploring a lot of the planets and probably running into a lot of the predatory animals on these planets. And finally, you come to the unknown file. Now, this is one I don't know if it's similar to every single person or if it's random, but for me, it was wellness, ballistics, and piloting. Another very nice range of skills, a very wide range of ways you can play with this, another fantastic background that you can pick. Now that you've picked your background, you can move on to the 3 separate traits that you can have inside your game. First off is alien DNA. It essentially allows you to have more oxygen and health, but healing food items don't really help you out at all. So you have more health, but you also can't heal yourself as well. The Dream Home trait is actually very straightforward. You obviously get a very nice customizable house, but you have to pay off the 125,000 credits to the bank before you can really start customizing it a lot. I picked this trait. I'm working on a video to really show you the house. The empath trait is a very interesting one in my opinion because it can backfire on you majorly. You increase your companion's combat effectiveness depending on your actions in the game, and if they don't like your actions, they'll not be as helpful, so good luck if you pick this. The extrovert trait is very straightforward as well. It has you use less oxygen when you're adventuring with human companions, but you use more oxygen when you're adventuring alone. So it's in contrast to the introvert trait, which I'll cover in a little bit. The Freestar Collective Settler is similar to 2 other traits. This one allows you to have dialogue options and better rewards from some missions from Freestar Collective faction missions. Your bounty also goes up with the other factions, so it's really give and take, but I'm sure you get great rewards for this. Hero worship was actually covered in some of the trailers. You essentially have an adoring fan that randomly shows up and doesn't stop talking, yet he can also join your ship's crew and will sometimes give you gifts, so give and take, like a lot of these traits. The introvert trait is in contrast to the extrovert trait. You use less oxygen when you're alone, but more when you're adventuring with other human companions. So again, a give and take. Kid stuff is another unique trait as you give 2% of all your credits automatically to your parents every single week. I actually picked this one to see what would occur over time because I'm sure there's going to be a nice reward at the end, so I'll let you guys know whenever I do figure that out. The Neon Street Rat is very similar to the Freestar Collective Settler. You get more dialogue options in Neon and some mission rewards from Neon, but your crime faction on the other factions goes up, so depends where you want to play and what enemies you prefer to fight. Now, Raised in Light is actually our first religion trait. This gives you special access to a chest full of items in the House of Alignment in New Atlantis, but you can't access the one inside of Sanctum Universum chest. So if you want a religious trait, you're going to have to pick 1 out of 3. The second of these 3 religious traits is Raised Universal. It's the exact opposite of Raised Enlightened. You can have the chest inside the Sanctum Universum special chest, but not the one in the House of Enlightened chest. Again, whichever one you want to pick if you want a religious trait. Our third and final religion trait is Serpent's Embrace, and this is a weird one in and of itself because you don't get the extra chest of loot, but you can temporarily boost health and oxygen by jumping, and graph jumping at that. So it's really weird. It's an interesting trait. It'd be good for dialogue. The space trait allows you to have more health and oxygen when you're in space, but decreases on the surface. Personally, I find this to be very unhelpful because you're going to be exploring a lot of planets, and that's on the surface, not so much jumping around space and having dogfights, which is based on your ship's health. Taskmaster was actually my third and final trait that I picked because the automatic healing and repairing depending on how well trained my crew is. But the only downfall is obviously I have to pay more cash, but the ability to have an auto healing on my ship, definitely a plus. Terra Firma is the opposite trait to Spaced. As you can see, this one allows you to have more health and oxygen when you're on the surface, but decreases in space, which of the 2 of these options, I would definitely pick Terra Firma because you're going to be exploring that many more planets instead of being in space. United Colonies Native is the final faction perk that you can use, or the final trait that you can pick. This one allows you to have better missions and rewards from United Colonies missions, and your bounty is going to increase with the other factions. So again, give and take. And finally, the Wanted trait, which has you pursued by mercenaries that want to kill you for a bounty. Nice thing is, when your health is low, you also do extra damage. I would see this as a great way to get more weapons and credits when you're getting attacked by these guys. But again, depends on how you want to play. And there you have it, guys. A quick-ish summary of all the backgrounds and traits you can pick in Starfield in your character creation. So I hope you guys found this helpful, especially those jumping into it on the actual release day of September 6th. If you did find it helpful, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons to let me know you enjoyed it and found it helpful, and I will catch you guys on the next video.